What's up, guys? I'm Tim Bowman, real estate agent here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Today we're talking about part 7 of the 8-part process to buying your first home. Now, part 7 is final details. We just got done talking about being under contract and how that can feel a lot like hurry up and wait. Hurry up being the part where you find the home and get under contract. Of course, now you've been waiting. It usually takes about 30 days. Now, in the last half of that 30 days or so, sometimes even in the last week, you find yourself doing a lot of the final details. Now, final details is step 7. That is a two-parter. Really, there's some stuff that you need to do, and there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that you don't necessarily have to handle on your own. Your real estate agent will handle it. Your loan company, mortgage broker, the underwriters and their departments, their respective departments will handle their end. But let's talk about what some of those things are. So now that we're wrapping up some final details, things like the appraisal is getting taken care of. So the lending company will send an appraiser out to do their appraisal of the home and report back what their opinion is of the home. There's the underwriting is going to be taken care of. That's where we talked about in the last step why it's so important that you get your documents to the loan company as fast as you can after they request them, so that the underwriters don't get held up unnecessarily, so that they can do their part. The underwriting is being taken care of at that time. Let's see, some of the title search, title companies, you've already selected a title company with your realtor. When you put in your offer, it was in the offer. They're doing what's called a title search at this time. So these are all the final details to your offer and getting to closing, which is step 8, the exciting part. So the title company and the title search is just to make sure that there's no break in the chain of title, that they can track it back as far as they can. Usually around 40 years or so is what they want to go back and see, but an attorney does all that. The title company does that, and they're just making sure that you're buying a house that nobody's ever going to show up and say, hey, it's actually my house and someone sold it to you that didn't actually own it, and obviously you'd have a lot of issues in that case. So they do their part at the title company to make sure that the house is free and clear and that they're able to actually transfer the title to your name. But there are some other things that you need to do. That's the behind the scenes stuff. So some of the things that you can do would be the final walkthrough before closing. That happens right before you go to the closing, usually within 24 hours. You're going to go back to the home, make sure that everything's been taken care of that you requested and negotiated for in your contract, and to make sure that they didn't take anything that they weren't supposed to take or leave anything they weren't supposed to leave. I mean, that happens too. People will sometimes clear and declutter a house to show it, and then put all that stuff back in there because they never were planning on throwing it away. They were planning on leaving it on you. So for both reasons, make sure they didn't take the refrigerator, microwave, and dishwasher that you were expecting to be there, and make sure they didn't leave that old dirty couch or whatever other paint cans is a very common one. That junk is obviously not back in your garage where you didn't expect it to be, right? Calling the utility companies, calling the electric companies, calling the trash company, getting those accounts switched over into your name. A lot of times what you can do is put those companies on notice that you're going to be buying the house, so that when the current owner calls and wants to close down or cancel their account, they don't actually come out and turn the utilities off or turn the water off. You should very, very rarely ever actually have the electricity turned off whenever you transfer ownership of a home or when you buy the home. On your final walkthrough, it's a great thing to check. Make sure that the lights are still working, the heat is still keeping the place warm, the air conditioner is still keeping the place cool, and that the water still runs. Turn on some faucets, because if they actually come out and disconnect the stuff, you may be responsible to pay a turn on, or I don't forget the fee, but where they turn it back on, there's usually a charge for that, right? So yeah, you'll just call, it's more of a transfer of accounts than it actually is a turning off and a turning back on of a lot of these systems. So make sure those things weren't turned off unexpectedly on you. But other than that, you know, this just all the other little final details, getting your closing costs and your down payment money sent over where it needs to go to. In a lot of cases, that's the title company. So there's a lot of details here, but don't let that overwhelm you. All these things are being taken care of, and some of it does require your attention. Most of it's behind the scenes, and if you've got a good realtor, they're going to be walking you through it every step of the process. So if you need anything, reach out to us here, Tim Bowman team in Cincinnati, Ohio. We'd be happy to help as best as we can, and good luck on your home buying process. We'll see you in step 8, which is actually getting the keys to your house. See ya.